All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Bunny Girl Senpai, Season 1, Episode 2. So we have met the Bunny Girl Senpai, Mai. Mai. We have our main character, Sakuta.
He is quite the protag. I very much like him thus far. He has a good amount of snark to him. He has a good amount of ability to throw his quips in there.
Right,
which is,
participate in the witty banter.
There. Yeah, exactly. But we have a little bit of an out of order timeline story here with regards to Mai being forgotten.
Right.
Eventually.
Yep. Because
Why?
she didn't want people to be constantly, seeing her and all that stuff, and all. Now she's not. That might even happen with him.
Yeah. There's a lot of other characters that kind of have a loose connection to at least Sakuta.
Yes.
As far as things go. But we have ourselves potentially the bookends of this story already given to us. And now it's a question of connecting the dots and bringing things together in the middle.
Yes.
So, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. All right, everyone, now be sure to go check out the reaction portion of the video in the description below, then come back here for the discussion. Oh, that was such an adorably sweet episode.
Yep, wasn't it great?
Oh.
Wasn't it great?
Oh. Like this episode did very little, I would say, to advance the mystery really that much. It was more about kind of what makes these two characters click really well together and exploring that interaction through a couple set pieces of some really dramatic potential. The biggest one being meeting up with her mother,
and mom doesn't even
see her. But the mom did set up the meeting thinking that it was important. So she knew probably at the time that this was her daughter coming to do this whole thing there. Which
and then at some point in transit, whatever, forgot. Yep.
So there is an active force being applied to the black hole of memories, basically. That is
Mai.
That is Mai, basically.
Yep.
So
I love
the part that's interesting here, though, is that there was Kunimi.
Yes.
Remembering her.
Indeed.
I'm onto you, Kunimi. You're full of shit. Like you're like Kunimi.
He is actually Sakuta from the future.
No. Like something not necessarily so ridiculous, but Kunimi is the key. Like there's stuff there. That's weird. Because
why don't you just call him Kinami then?
No, because Futaba, when Futaba was called, the show didn't have her basically get asked directly, do you remember remember Mai?
Well, right. It was the thing of, so she's like, so that's the situation. So kind of, okay, you filled me in on the details.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that she remembers her. That just means that she's being told the situation and believes him.
Right. That there is a person at the very least that,
that this whole situation is happening.
Oh, apparently there's someone called Sakurajima Mai. Okay.
Right. And her whole theory is regarding this. So I was right in that she is the voice of empirical kind of analysis on the plot.
Sure. So for something as ridiculous as puberty syndrome, how do we actually make head and tail of it? We're gonna have her
take Schrodinger's cat's idea and be like, all right, we're gonna
take this
together.
Yeah, we're gonna take this scientific theory and stuff, twist it around a bit, and mash it up, and then there you go.
Here we go.
Explanation.
That's the thing. Yeah. But the fact that she believes him might be because of the fact that, she believes that the whole idea about quantum mechanics regarding something being observed or not means that it could likely exist and not exist at the same time until it's observed.
Right. And I believe that it's implied that he has filled her in on the past situation with Kaida, and then also himself. I think. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
but
so she's his confidant.
He's talked about this with her before.
Right. Yeah, she's his confidant with regards to the puberty syndrome stuff.
Right.
So she is like, oh, naruhodo.
Interesting. We shall experiment with this. And
Yeah, exactly. So that's a good kind of understanding there in that regard. But the fact that the fact that Kunimi actually remembers her while not having seen her physically.
Yep.
In any time recently, that's sus. That's very interesting. I'm very curious about what that leads to. But adorableness, wonderful, wholesomeness,
off the charts.
This was so freaking good. It starts off with them being all like domestic at the grocery store, like getting their stuff and everything, getting vegetables.
Yep.
And it's just some good wholesome banter.
Oh yeah,
you know?
I love it. Like the banter in this show, I really feel like is the strong point. It's not the supernatural elements or things like that, but it's that when the characters start talking to each other, it's fun. It's just a lot of fun to watch. Man. Like even if this show wasn't about let's say it was about something completely different, right? I'd still have a ton of fun watching these characters just,
yeah,
interact.
To be fair, the main thing that kind of makes it so much fun is that they're right now really focused on sticking to their specific shticks right now.
Yes.
Sakuta is saying exactly what the audience is thinking. Like it is very
He does
much,
not shy away from the pervy thoughts.
Right. He is blatantly obvious and honest with regards to this, and that is fun because a lot of times in anime the protagonist can end up being so unsure of themselves that they don't say the things that that they're thinking.
Right.
And while Sakuta has in some ways a bit of a special instance where literally anything that he says to her, she will not be able to say to anyone else because no one actually knows.
Right. And also, since she is in a situation where she isn't able to interact with anyone else,
she gives extra value to the things that he says because she kind of needs him.
That kind of frankness is something that she might actually appreciate.
Right. Which is going to lead to him 100% if he ever gets back his memories of the whole thing, which if we think about the potential drama of it, there has to be some element of the story and the mechanics of it to where he ends up not necessarily remembering everything about this, but it's the, what's your name,
Right. Even if it's a 50 first dates kind of a thing where then she makes him a little flip book of this is what happened then and blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
That has to happen so that he can have his regret moment of, I wasted the time that we had. I'm such an idiot. All that time that I was just bantering and kind of maybe taking advantage of the fact that this was just this is a fun situation. I can have all this goofy
You're a hot girl
stuff.
I can get closer to.
Right, exactly. I should have taken this way more seriously. And then it's just what type of show is this going to be with regards to, are we going to head towards catharsis? Or are we going to head towards maybe an
actual happy ending?
Well, catharsis is a happy.
Well, catharsis a lot of the times I can feel like is a
catch-all term.
Can be a more general term that is often a substitute for when there isn't a happy ending, but it's a cathartic ending, right? The pain was worth it.
Well, that's the thing is that this is a show that is going to bring about even more pain. That's why we're having all the adorableness right now.
When we know that at some point he is going to forget her. That whole thing
it's probably going to be the next episode, or
who knows? It could have been the very
that.
end of this episode.
It literally. The show starts with him getting out of a bed that looks very much like that with a who is she, kind of thing. So at the very least, this is what did he say? This was the 26th of May, I think that he said. Is it the 26th or the 27th? The 29th is when he wakes up and he's forgotten her. And this is nighttime, so it's either the 27th or the 28th, which means we are literally in the 1 day or 2 days left kind of situation. So really bad in that aspect. But they both really care about each other. They both have really bonded in a special way.
Right.
The banter shows that they are willing to be vulnerable and close with each other, despite the fact that they feel the awkward tension in the room regarding the fact that they're alone and that they're both somewhat interested in each other.
Oh, that, yes,
so,
right.
So it's okay, whatever.
Take a shower. You better not peep or anything. I can go a whole day on just the sound of the shower.
Just the sound of the shower.
alone.
God damn it. That was a moment where I was like, you know what? I think I need to reveal not a kink, but like a special, like a special just thing of mine personally. It's just a little story here. Like one of my things that I find to be one of the most attractive things in the world.
We might actually share this one.
Someone that is freshly showered and fully clothed and everything. Nothing in that. Just the idea of wet showered hair.
Yep.
Like,
yep. Same.
That is,
same. Whether it's from a shower or from a rainy day, it's just like
no, it's different.
It does hit different. But for me,
shower is better.
I'm a pluviophile already, so
right. No, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Pacific Northwest. That'll do it to you as well.
Right.
But
either hate it or love it,
or you leave.
Right.
But I will say that when he said I could go hold down just the sounds of the shower, I was like. I get it. Like,
right.
like I don't think I would say that even with someone I was in a relationship with, Like, I don't think that would...
I'd say it.
I don't even think that would come to mind as like
gotcha.
joke even. No. I get like the idea why someone would say it, but I'm meaning like that's the kind of thing that I wouldn't even come to mind. I'd just be like, okay, well, like, wrap it up in the shower already. Like, we've got things to do, right? Chop, chop, Otherwise, I'm coming in there, But this was a really sweet way to have the typical baka,
right.
kind of joke humor stuff handled in there. Contrasted by a scene that I didn't really like that much with the you pedo, and then it kicks the guy. One, who is she? Two, why do I feel like, because I think she's in the OP, like,
so
like,
go for it.
Okay, why do I want to read way too into that scene? Because let's think about what the result was, right? This bitch stole like 90 minutes of time.
Yes.
Between the two of them.
Oh yeah, that was the same reaction I had. I was like, hold on, no, they're on limited time right now. You bitch, get out of here. You're not the main character.
Like, hold on. I get that there's like some ways in which we could go into the, oh no, I regret the fact that I like freaked out because that girl was crying all alone and stuff. But there seems to be this kind of odd kind of sequence of events that happened with it to set up the comedy, which that is very common little thing of the silly thing piles onto silly thing, silly thing, and then the punchline is just
all
that
right,
it all
kick
happened.
me, quick, just to get this over with.
Right.
Hello,
what are you guys doing?
Yeah.
So it all fits in the comedy act.
Yep.
But in terms of the result of what it meant in the plot, is that he lost, an hour and 37 minutes or something like that?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
That means a lot.
But and then there's the whole thing of, if you're a second late, I'll leave without you. But then, oh no, it's not just anything. She's going to meet with her mom. But she waited the full hour and a half.
It's worse than that. He might be the only person that that remembers her, that actually recognizes her. So that was not a threat of like, hey, I'm gonna leave. It's the like, don't leave me, scare me and leave me. Because if we're gonna be,
you're the only person in the world potentially that
I'm gonna be counting on you.
Yep.
So don't let me down.
Right. Yeah.
Like, and that bit there when I saw her being there, I just like that hit me right here, because I was like. There's a thing of a follow-up on, well, before he said that. Remember when they were in the train? And he's like, and she has trouble expressing herself, and is like she's worried about like just stuff in the future and things like that. Well, that was just a great example of the, hey, tsundere kind of threat of like, you better not, waste my time. Is the, hey, actually don't like.
Yep.
Yeah, that's some good shit right there.
One of the things that I absolutely love about their dynamic is, I'm a big fan of tsunderes when I feel like they're done well and not just done as a trope, which unfortunately isn't actually that often. But one of the things that I love about this, though, is that in this situation, anytime that she calls him baka, it's usually because he did something really baka. Yeah. Like, it's not that the... Are
you sexually frustrated?
Right. Right. It's not that the tsundere is quick to call him a baka.
No.
It's that he does things that would make just about anybody call him a baka, and that's how you get the dynamic, right? Or and it's like, there you go.
Yeah. Or just give the biggest, like, kind of singular raised eyebrow of, like, really? Bruh,
Yeah,
like,
right, bruh.
Yeah, it was a guy basically equivalent. Instead of a bug, it'd be a bruh. Like,
right.
No.
But then we have things like, he's an hour and a half late. She waits for him, and then on the train, she's like, "You still here? You can still hear me? You can see me?
Yeah.
You remember me? You know who I am? Okay? Like why don't... Yeah.
So for any of you that have been in a relationship... Right. But I know. Don't kill me like that. Whenever any of you have been in a relationship with someone who has been through any kind of emotional abuse with regards to feeling loved, one of the things that they'll ask you sometimes is to, like, can you just tell me that you love me? Can you just remind me?
Yeah.
It's like
assuage the fears.
Yeah. And it's not a thing of where it needs to be necessarily this grand gesture or anything like that. It's just a simple thing that people at times forget themselves, that they're worthy of love, that the person next to them really does love them, and it's not that they're like doubting you in any way. It's just a thing of like, hey, I just had a little mild panic attack here, and I need to cling. I need to cling to something in my environment. Are you ready for? Okay, I'm holding you, and that was that feeling that I got all throughout this episode, is that she's scared silly of being forgotten.
Yep.
And she has real, physical, tangible evidence that it is happening. And there is someone out there that believes her, so she knows she's not going crazy. That this is actually something, wrong here. But
right, the world's crazy. Yeah.
Right, the world's crazy. It's not me. That's just about as terrifying as when you realize that you're crazy. But that's still a little bit, I would say, a little bit scarier, just a little bit, because most people, I think, understand already that the world's crazy. you don't need to have a supernatural, crazy sci-fi kind of thing like this going on to.
But if on top of that there was some crazy supernatural thing going on, it's like that escalates and no one else was aware of it. Like you'd be like, hold on, yeah.
That's the freaky part.
One of the things that I absolutely love about Sakata's snark, I guess, because a lot of the times, like, okay, having an MC be snarky, right, and make quippy remarks and whatnot, that's great.
It's a modern trend.
It's a modern trend, but it works, right? It's entertaining for the audience. It's like how in all the Disney films there will be like the characters that are there to entertain the parents, right? And yeah, I love it, right? But when you think about a lot of the things that he does, it's not just to make himself feel witty. It's specifically to put her at ease, right? With the whole thing with she's talking about how she's worried about, being forgotten and whatnot. And he's like, oh man, I can't believe I'm here with like the Sakurajima Mai. Like, oh wow,
Right.
And, it doesn't turn into some like big, she doesn't give some like big praise to him of like, yes, I appreciated that little quip or whatever, right? But there's just sort of this subtle understanding of, yeah, I know what you were doing there. I get it. Okay. Right? Because, she's nervous. She's scared. And anything that is not that, right, that's making her not focus on that or making light of that situation makes it a little bit easier.
So I wanted to bring up something that actually I forgot was an element of the mystery. And I didn't even realize that in the moment that it was an element of the mystery until I kind of thought about it in the end of the reaction. But then all the adorable stuff happened and I kind of forgot about it again. But that was the Shoko, Makinohara Shoko.
Yep.
So, interesting little point of reference here. She does look a little bit like Mai. She does a little bit.
The character designs in this show are not the craziest.
But still, it's just something to keep in mind.
Okay.
With her character showing up and having this little moment with him on the beach and stuff, we get something that is a very, very peculiar piece of dialogue here that if you look at lightly, doesn't necessarily look a little bit interesting. But he says, well, I was in the second year of middle school and she was 2 years above me.
Right.
Which...
so first year of high school, yeah.
Yeah. But...
and it would have been third year of high school when he was first year.
Right. How old is Sakuta right now?
I don't remember.
Okay. How old is Mai right now?
I don't know. I think she's a year older than him.
She's at least a year older than him.
Okay.
She is older than him.
All right.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. If you don't want to help me, fine. I'll figure this out myself. Wait, did you apply to Minagahara High because of her? Why did she suddenly ask that? Why would she suddenly ask something like that, unprompted? She says she was wearing a Minagahara High's uniform, but then she's like, you applied because of her.
He's like, well,
While
yeah.
we're not looking at her face at all, I'll say this. She says, well, yeah. And then she says, but she turned you down, huh? Basically kind of assuming certain things about the way things went. Very, very odd kind of little assumption there. And then he kind of goes, wait, no, I didn't ask her out. While, again, not showing her face. I never even saw her. And then she kind of turns around and we finally see her face after he said, I never even saw her. There was no such student in Minagahara High. I went through the whole student roster, but I couldn't find her. I definitely did meet a girl called Makinahara Shoko. This feels very familiar because what is happening here, guys, is that we have a girl who is about to be forgotten.
Yes.
But she is the one kind of being helped to get back on her feet.
Right.
By him. And there's a possibility that this is like a loop where we have now come to the point where he's helping someone who potentially might have helped him, but there's a forgetting,
but she forgot
memory-related
herself
thing.
and then gave herself a different name.
Well, that's the part that I feel like is a little bit. That's the part that I feels like a little bit odd here is that the stuff that he had issues with was that she wasn't in the school even though she was wearing the uniform.
Right.
Which that shows that there's a phenomena potential thing associated with it. But it was a thing that led to him being put into this situation, and yet he didn't completely forget her. Whereas with this kind of thing, he seems to be set up in the first episode to forget her. It's a total thing.
Right.
It's
with
not
Shoko, it's the thing of
he still knows her name.
Right. He still knows
and he
her
still
name.
remembers at least what she looks like based on that flashback maybe being his perspective, you know?
Right. It's kind of like the thing of my wondering, is this real? Am I really missing? Okay, no one sees me. I can wave the carrot in front of the guy's face.
Right.
Okay, and so it's like, oh, no one knows about her. Okay, that's weird, but I know I met her, and that's what she said her name was, and she was wearing the uniform. So what's up?
Yeah, I just feel like there's something with that that feels actually extremely important, given the fact that the way Mai asked him about it implies to me that she knows something about it, because when Mai usually asks him questions, they're rhetorical or they're kind of combative with regards to his his
it's part of the banter. They're doing their sparring.
It's part of the banter.
Yeah.
But she kind of did this in the genuine way of,
question.
This was a person that you liked, so you kind of chased after her into this school, and then you asked her out, and she turned you down, right?
And he's like, no, not at all.
Yeah. And while I would say that is a relatively decent assumption to make in that, he chased a girl into next, class or next school or what have you to, ask her out maybe or something.
And if maybe she's crushing on him a little bit and he starts talking about someone else that was very important to him and she's like, I get the feeling this was a girl,
Right.
Then she's invested in figuring out what the situation was there.
Totally.
And if there's any kind of, telling, a girl that you're on a date with that you like someone else, it's like, well, hold on, we weren't, you said we weren't on a date and all of that stuff.
It betrays really the fact that she is invested in the, relationship as it is with him.
Yep. And I think that actually might have been the turning point where after that, then she just said it was a date. When she specifically said it wasn't a date.
Actually, that's a good point.
Because she called it a date a couple times.
Yeah, I can't believe how you talk. No. This was the second time. I can't believe you're talking about how you liked another girl while on a date. I said liked her. Past tense. That's an important difference. There's a part before this, I think, where she mentions the idea of because he talks about I get to be with a
get close to a hot girl,
older girl. Yeah, exactly. Right. You give me a straight answer. Ulterior motive. Puberty syndrome. There's one person who'd heard me out. If I hadn't met them, I don't think I could have gotten through it. And this is someone who helped him with the Kaida situation.
Right. At the very least, believed him. Yeah. Yep.
Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah, she goes, it was a girl, wasn't it? Now, that's not a hard assumption to make. So maybe you're right here. I don't think she mentions that it's a date until after this. Yeah, date there, and then we continue our date once they're done. She says it twice in like a minute.
Yeah, so wait for me. Yep.
Or like in 30 seconds even. So yeah, you're very much right. Okay, that's really cool. But okay.
Yeah, so the talk in the actual room. Like, okay, the fact that, there's the shower and everything, and, oh, no, I'm not going to wear the same underwear. Go and get underwear.
But then
talk in the bed.
Yeah, this is cramped. What, you want me to get out? Oh, talk about something fun. So you can be distracted about the fact that it's cramped and we're in a twin sharing it together, basically.
Exactly. And,
a lot
you might forget me.
Are you having fun putting me on the spot? Hey, you enjoy having me mess with you, too. And it's like, well, yeah, there isn't a guy out there who would enjoy being bullied by such a hot old girl. Is that a compliment? Yeah.
A shower of praise.
Yeah. And then he is just kind of shooting the shit, talking about, nothing here. But then the fact that they're having a good time just there with this, and she kind of has this, like, after the shower of praise, and then you want to make out, basically?
Right, right. Yeah.
Like, okay, I want to actually, like, think, like, give him the benefit of the doubt with the sexually frustrated question here. This is where his, like, monkey high school boy brain goes to, is he's like, oh shit, she hasn't been able to interact with anyone like that recognized her for like a really long time, and she's older than me, so there's
if I'm this horny.
there's no way she's a virgin at this point. So like she's ready. She's like I'm frustrated. This is really annoying. So she's like, I mean, we're in bed together. This is great. And then, are you feeling sexually frustrated? And then he just blows it up. Like when a girl asks you a question that's literally a yes or no question, it's one of the worst things sometimes to ask back a question in response to it. First say yes or no, then ask your question.
Well, especially when the question is more of a statement of, hey, let's kiss.
Well, does she actually make it as a statement? I think she has a question.
She does it, right, she does it as a question.
It's a question.
But it's a thing of like, I wouldn't mind. I kind of want to, like.
Yes, that's what the hey is there.
Right.
But I'm bringing up the idea that in his nervous, probably just dumb brain, he thought when asked a yes or no question regarding being intimate with a girl that he's very into, there, this
already
is the one time where in some ways he shows his baka kind of energy.
Kind of?
Yes, exactly. But I want to go out there on a limb in saying that he's like, whoa. Like, you're a little bit desperate. Like, and this is his way of saying it nicely, is being like, I'm going to say the idiotic thing that's going to make you say baka by saying, are you sexually frustrated? Which is like, I'm going to make light of the situation because I can feel the you're wanting to cling really tightly to me, aren't you?
Yeah, the kind of thing of the, your mom just forgot about you from the point from when you scheduled the meeting to when she met you.
Right.
Are you wondering like, in the 8 hours or whatever that we sleep, will I forget about you too?
And this is followed up by we're going to sleep. And immediately after, like, I'm going to sleep, which is more of just I can't bear to look at you right now.
Yeah, right.
You're insufferable.
Change of
conversation. She then goes, what would you do if I started shaking and crying, like asking you if you're there and stuff? That's just the moment where you're like, well, it is time to open the tear ducts and, okay. Okay. Yeah. Good quality episode, y'all. Really, really good stuff.
And I love that this is from the show called Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Bunny girls, that's what this show's about. Yeah. No.
And then the arigato. Thank you for not giving up on me.
Yep. And
Because
then it cuts.
she was, because that's the story, right? She was close to giving up on herself.
Yeah.
So, regardless of what's going on with my crackpot theories with regards to the Maki Nohara Shoko girl and Kunimi, there's very cool poetry with regards to the idea that someone helped him get through a really shit situation where his younger sister was terrified, bullied, and stuff. And now he's able to help someone else. Well, he's in a pretty good place now because of this.
And I love that, like, because there's the crush angle of like, oh, okay, he's talking about this girl that he clearly liked a lot, you know, and may potentially still like, you know, what's going on there, right? Of course, she would want to know about that. But then there's also the idea of her question of why are you helping me, right? And like her original question or frustration was that she felt like people weren't seeing her for her, right? So she didn't want to be seen by anybody.
Right.
Now she's talking to this guy and he says, oh, there was someone else that helped me in this situation, so I want to do the same thing. There might even be a doubt there then of like, wait, so are you seeing me for me? Or am I just...
another person to help.
Right.
Am I just a girl crying out for mommy?
Who knows? You know? Will you forget me?
I'm freaking out, man.
If you did forget me,
I'm freaking out,
you know,
man.
would you just sort of continue on with your life? I mean, of course, yeah. If he forgot her, then technically, of course, he would. But like, would there be a space left? Would there be a hole there, or would it matter?
All right. Well, y'all, stuff to think about. So thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us and the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel.
We stream every weekday. The info's in the description.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see it there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.